Hello everybody, welcome to another live coding session, this time in a different kind of time zone, but I didn't have time later, so I decided to do it this time. I've been away for a while and I will be away for like after next week, so there will be one more live coding session next week on Monday, which is going to be interesting, and then we will have October, which will mean Hacktoberfest, and we are very much looking forward to it because there will be a lot of new community contributions, we hope, to UNO platform, and a lot of new PRs and new changes that will be coming. So that's gonna be cool. But for today's session, I'm planning to do a little bit cleanup because I have a lot of things opened. Many PRs opened, and I would like to get at least some of them closed. And then I will switch to my current main focus, which is kind of changing our code base, not to rely on window current and current core view, get for current thread, and these static methods that have been useful in UWP, but are no longer usable or useful in WinUI. So our goal is to align it more with WinApp SDK and WinUI so that like both approaches can work, but the WinApp SDK approach would be the new default and our own code base wouldn't rely on these static methods. So let's get started. And my first task for today will be to fix this issue. This issue that is showing up on UNO Island applications, where when you try to press a key, it throws this weird exception because it's not possible to use Focus Manager get focused element because there is no core window, no main visual tree. So you need to be specific of what visual tree you are talking about, and I made a fix for that for UNO 5, the future version of UNO, but it's not yet backported into the UNO 4 branch. So that's what I want to do today, and I wanted to do automatic backport, but that didn't work out too well because that backport has some conflicts with what we have there. So I will have to adjust for it, and I will probably just do it manually because the differences are major there. So it's probably going to be easier to just start with the 4x release branch and then adjust accordingly. So let's get started on that. So the origin remote, we have release a legacy 4x branch, which is tracking our 4.x releases and code base, because the 5 current master is prepared for the next major update. So it is very different and has a lot of breaking changes. So we now have a separate branch for those legacy releases there, where we can still do bug fixes quite easily. So I will do I will create a local branch for this specific purpose, and let's see. So I'll switch to .NET 7 to be targeting UNO Islands, which is okay. We are there, and let's do Skia. Right. So what I will do now is I will probably launch the Uno Islands application first now. Just to see and confirm that failure is there and that it does surface as expected. Right, this is this error. I need to work around that. There is this weird error that's showing up, and it has to be worked around using here. So what's the error? It's 477. So this one, I think this one should be also backported because it is causing trouble on this branch, this 4x branch. So maybe it makes sense to have it there as well, but that would be a separate PR. So that's directory build props. And I will probably need to, well, I can try to build it. We'll see if it works, or we'll have to restart Visual Studio. No, it doesn't. And the reason is this guy. API level. Okay, so it's complaining about Android specific things. So I don't think I really care about that. So let's do server processors. So why does it complain there? So foundation logging, this one. Foundation logging. So I shall just temporarily remove this. It shouldn't change much. Whew. Okay. There's quite a few errors. Right, so I think I will just have to clean up the Git. Git clean. XFD. There is a lot of temporary build files that were created by Visual Studio when compiling, and that usually causes weird errors that shouldn't be there. And this happens often when you're switching from between commits that are very far apart, where a lot of things have changed. So this is probably the case because this branch. This clone of Uno was previously on Uno 5, and now it is on 4x, so that's very far apart. Let's see. This guy. Hopefully now we shouldn't get those errors again. So maybe in the meantime we can start another one of those PRs. This one is the documentation PR, and there are just some comments that need to be addressed. So I will probably do that simultaneously. So let's parallelize a little bit. Alright, it just crashed completely. Interesting. Well, let's start again. So let's rebase. On latest master. And now we should be getting those errors, but I don't see them now. That's interesting. So maybe the error was really 5 specific. There is no exception happening there. So let me see if that... So what was this issue? No, it's not the one. This one. No. No. This one. So it should be in initiate key down bubbling flow. Ah. Come on. Right. So yeah, it should be happening, but right, it's falling back to window current content, but it shouldn't, and it's not even occurring there. That's interesting. Because the focus management isn't up to speed there, but yes, the problem is there that the get focused element shouldn't be called without any XAML root. So that's problematic, and we can quite easily fix it. It should be quite easy to fix, because that UI element that we have, we should have access to it somehow. Original source, yeah. Args. No, not here. Okay, that's interesting. So we have just one static keyboard manager. Right, that makes sense. Okay, so the reason why it's not happening in the old branch is that the focused element does not return anything, but we are falling back to window current content, which is currently being set in Uno Islands. It shouldn't be, but it works, so that this part doesn't crash. But the correct solution would be to have it hooked up to the specific UI element and its XAML root. So this shouldn't be hooked up in a global manner. It should be set up to be specific to the XAML island itself. That is not happening right now, but it doesn't crash, so that's fine. So I guess we can just skip this this one, and that PR can be closed. Okay, so we can close this one. It was quite easy to fix, as it didn't need fixing. So that's good. So let's now switch to this one, which will be purely documentational. So Raspberry. So there are some references to .NET framework, which is not really a thing. So framework, install .NET. So install .NET. Yes, so it links properly. .NET framework. It's installed. And this is .NET 7. Okay, yes, so this is resolved. Does this still more framework references? No, no more framework references. Yes, that's right. API intro. .NET 5. 5. There's no more .NET 5. I changed that. This is inside of the image, but I guess that doesn't need to be renamed specifically. I will rename it to .NET, so it's clear. It's just GIF of installing .NET and doesn't have to be version specific. So that's okay. Then we have, yeah, that's not valid markdown, I think. Should be this. So it's resolved. Then we have install.net. Yes, I changed that. Sudo reboot. Yes, it just should be a code block. And probably the same thing will be for this one. Yes. So okay, we're done. Now this one, the same thing. That info. There are some references to UNOP 1. Oh, they are. There are some references. So that new UNOP high. Yes, so this is fine. And we have all this. Oh, let's replace globally. Right. And just clean up everything like this. This could probably be rewritten by a very smart regex expression, but I will just do it manually, because before I would figure out how to write that expression, I would be done manually anyway, so doesn't really matter. So we should be good to go, except for this one. Right, so that's one more, and another one. So that is definitely all of them, right? Yes. Right, that's resolved. So I can now push those changes. Force push the branch, and then it can be merged. Okay, that's it. So let's close this, and yeah, let's look into this one quickly. It should be a quick fix. So in our sample application that we use for testing new UNO features and verifying UNO, we have a button that switches between Fluent theme and the classic UWP styles, which have non-rounded corners and have solid borders and stuff like that. So this switching between themes works in Windows, in non-Windows targets like UNO platform targets, because we have specific handling for it. But in case of Windows, it is not possible to do that because it completely crashes the application and it's just not working. So just to avoid this happening accidentally, I think it's best to just disable that checkbox to make it clear that switching between themes is not allowed on UWP, and we will avoid those weird crashes. So let's just verify how it looks now. So the possibilities are either to completely hide that checkbox and to display it only on UNO platform targets, or to have it there but have it disabled. So both are, I think, pretty much acceptable solutions. Right, so we have taken care of this one, which is number 12693. And we have, so, oh, this one. I wanted to backport this one because that's problematic for Forex. Anyway, so let's create a backport of this one. Now the samples app is running, so we can see what happens there. So if I switch this is fine. This is right to left. Then we have dark and light theme. That's okay, but this one crashes the application, and it's just because they are like removing the Fluent styles at runtime completely is something that's not possible, not allowed in UWP. Oh, actually, we can just confirm that, but it should be the reason for it not working. So we'll go into views. It was here and somewhere. Fluent. Here, Fluent styles. Use Fluent styles. So what it does is that it removes the Fluent styles from merge dictionaries or adds them. So if I start it up here, true. Oh, interesting. Details. So it fails even while trying to add those. That's very interesting. Because previously it didn't crash at all, it was just fine, and it failed when trying to remove those styles. So now when I try to remove those styles, they are set, but removing them will crash the application, which is what I expected. So let's just quickly create a sample Uno platform, not Uno platform app, but blank UWP app. And we will just do exactly this. We will add the XAML controls resources and then remove them, just to see if it does fail in even in a blank UWP application. So let's see, Microsoft UI controls is the name. Install. So I'll create a stack panel with 2 buttons, add and remove. So on add, I will copy what we have here. So that should be okay. And now on remove, I will do the opposite, which is remove that fluent resource dictionary. And let's see what happens. Right, it's complaints because of nullability. Also here. I somehow enabled nullable reference types everywhere on my PC, and I have no idea where it happens, but it's very annoying because the default templates don't compile, and I don't know what's wrong. So this is not crashing so far. Huh, interesting. Very interesting. I can add and remove, but what if this happens earlier, like inside of the main page constructor? Because even though the add seems to do something, it doesn't really. Okay, so it does work. So when you do it on load, it does add the Fluent resources properly. But the removing doesn't seem to do the trick. Very interesting. And we don't know why this is crashing also. So what if I comment out this whole thing? Do we still get the Fluent styles or not? It's very chatty. Like, I don't understand how this is minimal output verbosity. Lot of output lines, so it is very interesting. Not sure why it's complaining here, but I will just disable that warning. Oh, actually, I just got today this new nice blue ring for the MVP award. 5 years, so 5 years in the program, which is pretty cool. I'm very happy to be an MVP for such a long time. So that's a very nice thing. And it's interesting. They sent the normal year ring, the white ring, separately from this one. So I got 2 different packages. Hello, hello. How are you doing? So this one is also a problem. Let's see what happens now. So what I'm suspecting is that we are adding the Fluent styles somewhere else as well, which is why we are getting that error later, because we're trying to remove something which is already there but in a different instance. We shall see. So this one is taken care of, so I can close that one. Backport for this one is open now, so hopefully this can be merged. Oh, there was an error for that build. Why is it complaining? Oh, that's weird. Oh, I see, I see. There's a lot of more changes than I wanted. Just need this change, which is this specific part of it. But the rest can stay as it is. Yeah, hopefully that will help. So, right, if I go to buttons, yeah, okay, the style is now non-fluent, so if I, and I can remove it just fine. Very interesting, very interesting. It seems like it somehow fails because you are clicking that checkbox which is also changing styles somehow. It's very odd. Fluent resources. It's not very clear to me why it does fail here, but not in a blank application. But it like really seems that there can be something else going on as well, because I originally thought that this is just something that's not supported in Windows, but it seems that it is somehow supported, even though the theme is not actually refreshed, but it shouldn't crash the application, and it does crash the application in our case. So I'm not sure why that is. The parameter is incorrect. That's not a very helpful error message for sure. There is no inner exception, there is no data, nothing there. Yeah, really weird. Really weird. What I can try, one more thing I can try is, what if I do this asynchronously, like yeah, something like this. So I will delay by 1000 and continue with removing the fluent resources from there. And just to see if that could be the problem, that we are actively interacting with an element that then gets a different application of themes or styles. But I would be surprised if that would be the case, and we'll see. Regarding your question, do you have a reproduction of that problem, or what can you send me the specific error that's showing up? The host is not found. Couldn't find test host. It's a runtime test. It's a runtime test, so it's based on UNO runtime tests. Putting breakpoint on this line is not working. It actually crashes the application just by putting the breakpoint on there. So, when contain. Oh, okay. So that's you're running the samples application and you're trying to fix some test. What is this? Huh? Why am I getting this execution engine exception now? Why? Huh. Okay, let's see. I will check that error. Just a second. I'll do so, and just need to understand why I'm getting this weird error. Execution engine exception is thrown and nothing else. Acrylic brush. But why is that error just showing up randomly, not always? That's so weird. Specifically, when you put a breakpoint there, it shows up, but otherwise it doesn't. Okay. So I was doing something on a wrong thread somehow. Let's see. I will first look into that issue that you sent me. So on here, this one. So it's given a list view base or items control. The error is test host. Couldn't find test host. And this is... I'm trying to understand where you are getting that. Okay, you can send it there. That's fine. I can look into that afterwards. It's interesting. Runtimes usually are quite reliable, and this is a weird error. Okay, so I'll just try one more thing here. So we'll make a method. Async. Now I can await delay and then try the removal. So now we should definitely be on the UI thread when this is executed. And let's see if we hit the breakpoint or we fail. removal. Oh, right. So it seems ow, it crashes afterwards with parameters incorrect, but so there's something is happening when we remove the fluent resources, and it does the next arrange measure cycle, and somehow it fails. But it's definitely very interesting. So it seems like this is not going to be that easy to fix as I thought, because I thought it will be happening on blank UWP application as well, and that means that we just cannot do anything about it. But now I'm not completely sure, because it seems that removing and adding XAML resources should be possible, even though it doesn't refresh automatically the themes and styles, but it should be possible. So I'm not completely sure what's going on there and why we're getting that exception, but we don't have any really useful information, so I will have to probably just let this one go for now. And what I will do instead is to look into that display information issue that I was trying to figure out. So I have this branch here. Okay. Hopefully. Right, so we have my changes, my latest changes here. So on this branch, I need to do a bigger refactoring of the display information class, because currently, as we have implemented, it's only for the initial window current on UWP, but window current does not exist in WinApp SDK. Plus, it doesn't make sense in multi-window scenarios, because each window can be on a different screen. So we need to figure out how to properly get the display information for specific window and match it to the specific screen that it is related to. So display information, WinUI 3 should have a different set of properties than the original one. So if I do it kind of side-by-side fashion, we should have, this is the Windows version, now here is the Microsoft UI version. So the first thing here, oh, there's not really anything there. So why do we have no properties like current orientation there? So it's now in display properties. So essentially, it was moved somewhere else. So, okay, let's figure out how it works on WinUp SDK first. Jeez. display properties class. Yeah, so it should be okay. Let's do it like this. I will create a Windows WinUP SDK application and we'll see what's there. So the API change is definitely not there. Color profile, advanced color info. No, not really. So display information does not seem to be actually usable in WinUP SDK. So what is the replacement? No. Ah, okay. So this means we have to use this very ugly approach. That would be unfriendly. Let's see, DPI. It does really sound that display information is not really implemented properly and fully yet in WinUP SDK. So what I actually specifically need right now is to enable getting the proper DPI for multi-window potential, multi-window environment. And for those cases, I probably need just the DPI and DPI changed event. Let's see here. Where is my PR? So what's happening here? There's a lot of errors, and they are caused by the main window not being set, because GTK display information extension is reliant on a main window, but there's no main window. So we need to find a better way to do this. Yeah, so everything here is specifically working with the main window property, which shouldn't even be there technically. So Yes. I see we have a public property for it, but it doesn't really make sense to have a public window property as long as you don't have multiple window. If you have just single window, then it makes probably some sense, but I don't think that we can do it like this going forward. But okay, let's do it. Let's do a simple fix for now. So GTK host current main window will be set to this. So what? So accessor is right. So this should be internal set. So this is going to be just a small workaround for now to resolve this problem. This will be so for now, all the windows will have just the same DPI, which is not the correct solution, but it should avoid all those startup errors, hopefully. Except for initial measure should not be called with empty size. Like this is the problem that I resolved on WPF, but it seems that it's happening on GTK. So just a place to do here. Yeah, so on WPF this seems to be working fine. Yes, right, this works. So in the future we'll have to adjust this. So what's going on here? Why do we get 0, measure? Okay. Sample chooser view model. It should be sample chooser control. Okay, here. In case of WPF, we get this only after the initial measure, so the value is already set properly. But it's coming from here, and here we have non-zero visual tree size. In case of GTK, that does not seem to be the case, and we need to figure out why on GTK we are getting 0 still. So the logic there is root element is a root visual, so this is this one, and the bound size of that window is 0, 0, 0. Why? So this is getting bounds of the window, and this is not being set. We need to find all references to setter. And it's happening on native size changed. And that's not being called. Oh, okay. So native size changed. We do call it from base window implementation, native window size changed, and this one is set up in WPF window wrapper and GTK window wrapper, so it should be happening, but it's not happening. Because somehow the host does not resize. So this is happening even before the show method is called, because on showing is not even called anywhere. Ah, I see. So that's quite problematic. I need to see what is happening on WPF for this specific lifecycle part. So somewhere we are going to call show. But this is not called. So where do we show that window? Not here, apparently. Ah, I see. Here. Okay, so it's not in this place. So we need to remove that, but it is here. So this whole code, or maybe whole code like this, should be moved to window wrapper. Show all here. Okay. And the problem is that we don't have the initialization. We didn't have the initialization running, so that caused troubles. So now this should hopefully help and resolve our problem. Let's see. Oh, still before the initialization. But now we are getting a size change from the host. So at least something is happening. Even though it's quite late. Now we are okay. So for the next measures we should be getting the right values, but that's way too late in the life cycle. We need this happening earlier. So this is fine. This is working now, but we need to avoid those initial measures with invalid size. So we need to delay the measure until the window is actually shown. So let's figure out how to do that. This was in a XAML root. Here. So the first schedule should already not be happening. So we are doing try root, load root. visual in activate, and which is happening after the show method is called. And the problem here is that show is taking longer on GTK than on WPF because it's asynchronous. So maybe the proper way to do this would be like this: show async, and then call it here and do await, and then delay this. So maybe that is going to help. But it's not ideal yet. I think we should somehow, instead of async, use an event and then raise it and then load the root visual when that event is occurs. So maybe let's do it like that. So maybe let's do event handler shown, and this event will fire when the actual native window has shown and it was displayed, so that we now know for sure that the window is initialized properly and fully, and we can then show the window. The window content. So let's do some small refactoring. So we need to add that event among the events here. We need to invoke it after it's shown. And the initialization is asynchronous because the create for host async is asynchronous, and there are some validations that are running asynchronously. So I guess we cannot remove the asynchronicity from here, but it should be fine. We have logging for exception cases, so that should be okay. Yeah. So show. And now when we have the base window implementation, we need to wait for shown to be executed to actually load the root visual. So we will move this to here. And as we did these changes, we need to also apply them to WPF, otherwise WPF will stop working. So because we don't want that to happen, we need to do the proper thing and call shown in WPF as well. So let's hope this change was enough. I think it should be. the show method will be now delayed, wait for the actual native window to be shown, and then we will apply the loading of the root element and we should be good to go. So let's see. We are scheduling this right after try load root visual. So now the initial size should be already set. So yeah, it's set. So we are now going to see the proper window size, which is exactly what we needed. So good. So this part is fixed. And let's just now verify if the same can be said about, except for this weird crash now. Whoa, that's interesting. Completely crashed without any further messages. Very interesting. Hello, MCNet. Yeah, but it seems to be okay. Huh. Not sure what was that, but it doesn't happen anymore. Well. So this changes, it should be fine. So I will push that part. So shown, size change. This is shown event. This is the workaround that we did. And these adjustments here. Yeah, should be all good. So let's push this. And I will want to resolve these conflicts as well, because they are going to be problematic. So we need both of these changes. We need to ensure main window, but this logic stays. As for navigation view, there were many changes in master based on the newest additions to WinUI. So I think we can just take all of them and apply the additional host window changes from our branch. So I will pick origin for everything and then reapply those changes that I need. Oh, again, navigation view. So let's pick origin. And again, what? What are the changes here? Doesn't seem like there's anything new on our side, so I go with master. It was just indentation, probably. That's different. So, okay. Navigation view was the problematic one. Navigation view. CS. So keyboard state tracker instead of core window, get for current thread. That's this repository. So I'll just replace those few changes manually. The thing is that, again, core window get for current thread and window current does not make any sense in WinApp SDK context, so we need to replace it by something else. They probably did this in WinApp SDK, but the source code is not public yet, so we are going with our gut feeling here, and we will just do what makes most sense in this scenario. So alt state. Okay, so we have this changed already in the other branch, and there is need stop padding. There is window current somewhere. Ah, there's no window current, so apparently they fixed that problem already in WinApp SDK and in the public WinUI repo. So yeah, we don't need anything else in here, which is pretty nice. So let's force push. This PR is getting really, really massive, and I hope it can be in mergeable state soon, but there is a lot of things that I need to still verify and check. I have a whole checklist for those things, so yeah, this is gonna be still quite a journey. But at least I want to see that Skia and Skia WPF and Skia GTK will be building and passing build, because there I need a lot of changes in Android space and iOS as well. So actually, it's a good thing to start here. So I will go to master on Uno 2, switch to Android, and I will go to Android on Uno 1 or Uno, clone, and I will try to compare compare the changes, because I made quite a lot of them in the Windows CS and window.android CS file, and they should be migrated to a new infrastructure that is created. So that's something I can start on right now while the Skia build is running on the CI. Come on. All right. So there are some errors already. It's just formatting, luckily. Yes, so it's just formatting. But there's one more thing here, and that's just a note for myself to verify later. So this file is okay, but the window.android will be problematic one. Or maybe let's do it like this. I will just plain build this whole thing as it is, and we will see where all the errors are. And the same thing I will do on Uno 2, and let's compare. Okay, we are having problems already. So remove pre-draw listener in show partial. So this is going to be moved to the native window wrapper. So let's start that here. So we have native window wrapper, and we will create native window.android wrapper.android. Okay, so this is going to be internal class, which implements iNative window wrapper. Let's implement that interface, and we will have quite a few things to implement here. So the show method is the one that should show the native window, and we will just move the remove pre-draw listener here. With that, we need to also move remove pre-draw listener. This one we will need to move here. We'll probably need to move this guy. And we will probably need to move also this one, because when we add it in the wrapper, we remove it in the wrapper, we should also add it in the wrapper. That means that we need this. So this on activity created is called from application activity. And we will need to call it from call this native window wrapper on activity created somewhere. All right. Because for now in Android we'll have just a single window. Yeah, I will probably for now go with the simple approach of having a static instance plus property that we will then remove and replace with proper multi-window handling. So I will do it like this, and I will do private lazy native window wrapper instance so it's going to be a static one as well, read only. So the first time it's requested, it will create that wrapper. Now this is going to be just temporary until so this is just temporary approach. Show and it's pre-draw listener. Right. This is not added into usings. We don't have this in usings, which should be Android runtime, yes, and visible will need to be adjusted. But so we will, instead of accessing the window in application activity, Android, there should be on activity created somewhere here. We will be calling native window wrapper dot instance dot activity on activity created. So we avoided that issue by using a singleton. Now, raise native size changed. We have for this, like the raise size changed, I think is now replaced by something else in our code, our updated code. So native size changed in the original implementation is calling raised size changed, which is then handled inside of Windows CS. This is now moved into a base window implementation. So that's happening on the native size changed here. All right. So this happening here is coming from size changed on native Windows. So we are going just going to raise that size changed. Okay, we'll move this to the native window wrapper. And we will raise size changed event here. Okay. So application view get for current view is also not really the correct thing to use, because application view get for current view doesn't make any sense in WinApp SDK. So that will need to be adjusted later as well. I'll make a to-do here. But that's for later. Get visual bounds. This whole method can be taken and put here. Okay, and below. This is private. So maybe here. We need also get display size. Do we need get display size? Probably. I would guess it's used here. Yes. So this whole thing also goes to native window wrapper. Display metrics, just using. Oh, just 29 more errors, so not that many. Surely no. Why do we have two different size properties? Ah, I had an explicit declaration here. So that should be fine. Oh, I see. So we need to also listen to extend view into title bar. In the constructor. Okay, this is gone. So basically, when I'm done with this, we should have most of the things from Windows Android CS moved into native window wrapper, which is the case, except for system UI visibility, which is not there yet. Not sure where it's being set. Let's just add the usings. Is status bar translucent? That's unfortunately a public method. So I will take it in here, but make it internal, and we will point to it from here. Is the navigation bar translucent? Yes, that's used only here. Let's move it here. And we have two fixed thickness, which is an extension method. Well, most of it is clearing up quite well. This one we need to adjust because this is not an allowed property, but oh, we can do Windows UI SAML. And actually we will have the instance of the window that we are talking about, which is this UI SAML window. WinUI window. We can even do window proper. Or not? No. Let's do using window equals this. Because we have the instance, because it's going to be passed to us from... we have the wrong namespace. That's why. Right. So we will be past the window, so we can do quite easily WinUI window not visible, as long as we pass it in here as well. So, well, actually, do we need... Because this one is then only forwarding to window implementation not visible. So technically, we should be able just to watch for the visible property here. So that should be okay to do it like this. Although we need still to be referencing this window wrapper. We will initialize it, and it's gonna be window.visible. So that should be it. And now scroll up a little bit. We need to initialize this later. So we'll initialize in the constructor. So pre-draw listener. This is complaining about, right. God. We need an instance there. But yeah, we don't need the instance. Oh, no, we don't. We don't. I needed that because of that line, but we don't have it anymore, so we're fine. That's a relief. So this bounds, window bounds. Window bounds. It's just size versus, okay, so window bounds. We can quite easily cache the previous value. And just compare it. I'll initialize it to -1 so that we have a better marker for the initial size if it potentially could be 0. So if previous window size is different from window bounds size, oh, let's name it window size. This is gonna be window size, and it's gonna be a size because anyway we are setting just the location there. Or are we? We have insets there. I see. Oh, right, but it's fine. It's okay. So it's bounds. This should be this can be bounds for the use of visible bounds, but we will be passing just the size back for window size. All right, that makes sense. So now we can compare window size, and if it's different, we will raise it with height. And window size is actually a size, so we don't need to create a new instance. We have just the same instance there. Oh, so far so good. So we got rid of this. We have just this last remaining thing here that probably can be removed because I think it was left public accidentally. So we'll potentially remove this as well. And this system UI visibility is what? Why is it there and why is it used? Huh? For some reason it's just used to store a flag for the window, and I will just safely move it here because it's internal, so there is no breaking change involved in that. And the references will then be adjusted as well. Okay, that's it. So let's now clean up the usings, much less of them now. Can use nullable enable, and let's build this project again. some more errors to take care of. So we have this invalid using that I introduced accidentally. So let's use the proper one now. And now size change should be delegated to native window wrapper. It should be like this. Then we have native window factory, which is not implemented. So this will just create the return that instance of native window wrapper and to do okay, so for now it's just a singleton instance, and let's build again. And more errors, quite a few more errors. 22, not too shabby. On native activated, that's a method that is no longer there. We need to move that into the native window wrapper. So let's just check what it did before. On native activated is the thing that we need. So that just triggered the whole activation lifecycle, but I think that's moved into base window implementation here somewhere. On native activation changed. So this is the same logic just inside of the base window implementation and is hooked up to native window activation changed. So I can now do just a very simple thing here where I will have the native window wrapper have a method that will allow me to raise it. So activation changed. The parameters are correct. So this will now call this event. So that's all good. So now instead of this, I will go and do window wrapper instance dot native activated. And now on native visibility changed. A very similar story. So basically the same thing, just with visibility. Something else here. Here we have one. Okay. So this is replaced with native window wrapper also. Do something else here. Okay. Yeah, quite a few things fixed now. So let's do it again. raise native size changed. So again, instance raise native size changed. Nothing too interesting there. Same thing here. You have XAML root invalidate measure. So what was happening before our native size changed? So native size changed. We were invalidating somehow. Invalidate measure. Not completely sure what to replace this with yet, but we will figure it out. And oh, this is still there, so I was looking at the wrong place apparently. So int XAML root dot host window is something window. Okay, some more things here. So shown. So that should be called from activate, right? Show partial is called originally from try show, which is called from set content, but also from activate. Yes, try show. Okay. So this should be wait, what is the implementation in remove pre-roll listener? Yes. So we are calling this. Alright, window activate is something like you want to bring that activity to the foreground, and we don't have that yet in in Android, I think. Yeah, no, there's no proper activation there, so yeah. So that's fine to ignore for now. We have show, and after show we should be calling shown invoke this event args empty to confirm that showing was successful. And there we have also closed event, which is not happening yet. So in application activity, so there is destroy, so we should probably be doing that here. On native closed. So we can call the closed event. That's it. So let's build again. That is the remaining issue that I didn't fix yet, but we'll figure it out. So yeah, that's the last remaining one. So I think this is not needed in case of Android. So what is the right naming for this? It's generated. What's the name? Come on. Net standard reference, this one. Here. So this, but it's not standard reference, it's something else entirely. Let's do Skia or Wasm, because both should be sharing that same path, but we need to verify, because the invalidation should still happen, but maybe differently. Okay, so let's build one more time and get some new errors to take care of. Oh, no errors. That's very cool. So now let's try to run the app. And if it works the first time, that would be a super surprising, a super weird thing. Because I made a huge amount of changes in the windowing lifecycle, so I would be extremely surprised if it worked. Extremely. And this is, whoa, what is this thing? What? Why is this complaining? Are there any changes to that CS proch? Seems like a invalid reference, but why? Oh. If we go here, the same thing is there, so it shouldn't be the cause of the problem, and there is no change in that file specifically here. This is incorrect, but it shouldn't be the cause of the trouble. So let's do a classic cleanup. Maybe that will help. Okay, so I will push this and do a git clean. Right. And let's go with this. Switch to Android and we'll see if our changes did make any difference. That cleanup should remove the temporary fires, so hopefully now it will fail. It will not fail. It will build without failing, and we should see if the application then launches, or more likely will not for some weird and troubling reason. I did really expect more changes were going to be required, because the window changes were substantial, and this was actually quite easy to adjust the Android part. So I am quite interested to see what happens if it fails and throws an exception. What's gonna be the cause of it, and what will be needed to adjust. Oh, still this? Okay, I will just comment this out for now. I'm not sure why it's complaining suddenly, because there is not really any change that's specific for that folder, I think. There is nothing like this one, but that has no influence there. No, I'm very surprised. Very surprised. I have no clue why that's complaining suddenly. Ah, that's more like it. So it tries to access a window, but it doesn't exist in... Huh? Why Microsoft UI XAML window? What is this? Not sure why is this being generated. I can remove it, but if it gets regenerated, then I'm not sure how to get rid of it. Oh, again, the same thing. Why? Why does it generate this file at all? Now a different error. It's still nothing that's related to what I've done, so I would like to see something more useful. Some more windowing specific error or something that really is related to what I've done. So why? Why? I did make some changes here, maybe. Yeah, this is bent symbols. It shouldn't be a problem. Maybe this. I added this constant, but That's just WinUI specific code, so no. But it's still generating this. Huh. Why resynthesizer? Let's remove resynthesizer and build. It seems like the resynthesizer is thinking that we are actually a Uno WinUI library, not Uno UI library, so it's expecting Microsoft.ui.xaml.window instead of Windows.ui.xaml.window. But why? That's really weird. What is this? This is inside of UI runtime test extensions. Okay. It's all window.current dispatcher queue. That's probably gonna need to be adjusted, but still. Okay, this is wrong indentation. That's not a big deal, but again, we're missing that namespace. Again, the same thing. Huh. Now it should build. Okay, here we go. So let's see when it crashes. I have just about 5 more minutes left, so at least we'll see what to work on further. But yeah, we made quite a big progress. Android is now refactored. We will need to refactor iOS the same way, WebAssembly the same way. But it's not gonna be, hopefully, that program problematic, except for the fact that we have now a very nice target invocation exception, and we have no idea why. Yeah, so that's gonna be the tricky one, for sure. There is nothing useful. Nope. So yeah, there's something to debug. Let's see if we get here. Just quickly to understand when it's crashing. So we get here, but we don't get to the constructor, right? Main activity, let's see, application. So here, let's see. All right, so we get to app builder. We get to create the app constructor. We get to build a name scope. We get here. And we get crashed. So it happens somewhere in the application constructor there. Must happen somewhere here. Let's see. Okay, we go through this, that's fine. Register, okay. Oh, we even get here. But we don't finish initialize partial, so it's something in the partial class. Should be in application partial. Initialize partial. Aha, okay, so we try to initialize window current, and there we have our problem. Somehow this fails because window current is not working. Current. It creates a new window. We should be getting here. Yes, we are. So we are even getting the window implementation. No. So it's somewhere in between. I'm guessing the initialization of the window fails. Well, it all seems to point towards no. Even before this. So this one fails. So the initialization of core window content root. We are doing something wrong there. Not even that. So it must happen somewhere during the create content route, but that's all fully shared code. That's very interesting. Okay, it happens there. It's hard to see where we go wrong. No. well, I'm running out of time, so I guess I will have to leave this be for next time, but it seems quite interesting. We don't get any useful information where the exception is happening, so I'm quite interested to see where the root cause of this whole thing will be. Seems in the... Oh, I guess it will be somehow the input manager, because there is hooking up to some native events, and maybe there we have the problem. So just one more try. If we get... Oh, okay, no, so it's in Visual Tree itself. Huh. And that can be many things, so I guess I will just leave this be for now, and we'll continue next time. So thank you all for joining. It was a longer one this time, but we made a considerable progress on Android. Next time we will continue on other things, and I think the next live coding I would like to do a kind of introduction to contributing to Uno platform. I promised this before, but next week is a week before Hacktoberfest, so it's the ideal opportunity to do this. So I will do a kind of contribution guide to how to contribute to Uno platform, what are the areas that you can contribute to, and all the details that are related to it. And also you can prepare any questions. So if you have any questions regarding contributing, I'm happy to answer and hopefully help getting your first commit merged into Uno platform. So that's it. Thank you. Have a good day also, and see you next time. Bye bye.